It was an amazing show. It was probably one of the best shows ever in rock and roll, in fact, at the height of it. Space Ritual was a great tour, you know.
The Space Ritual was a space journey. Now, you can't get more far out than a space journey. It was very acidic. It was very psychedelic. That was the whole intention, you know, play on the mind, play on the eyes, play on the ears.
And thank God we got it captured on an album, you know. If you turn that up full, put headphones on, take about 5 tubs of acid, fucking, you know, heat up some oil and shit, and project it on the wall, you have some idea of it. Hypnotic, it was like relentless, because we used to play for 3 hours, you know, without stopping. We used to have musical bridges in between the songs, so it never ended. It must have seemed like it never ended to the poor bastards in the audience.
Dave is a master at controlling that particular kind of music. I mean, he really is brilliant at it. He's got a theatrical sense as well as a musical sense, and he always sort of knows when to sort of bring the band up to crescendo and then let it fall away again.
With Dave it was a real rapport, yeah. Because, I mean, we could be facing different ways and we change at the same time during a jam to the same chord, you know. I mean, it was really, I knew exactly where he was and he knew exactly where I was. It was a great thing that you don't get that much. I've never had it since. And I've had it before that either, come to that.
Dreamt up by Calvert and planned out by Barney Bubbles, Space Ritual would prove to be one of their most memorable tours.
We spent probably about 6 months somewhere up in Belsize Park putting speakers together. Everybody thinks like, you know, Hawkwind out on the road, oh, everybody's out of it. But, you know, we were actually quite together and quite organised.
So would it be the case that the band wasn't as sort of druggy as
Oh no, we were still on drugs. We all took drugs. We always had some with us.
They weren't all flying on the same fuel. It was the choice of drugs that brought tensions into the band.
I personally was into raising people's consciousness, whether with drugs or otherwise. I find in hindsight that other people had different sort of beliefs or feelings about it. You know, Lemmy has sort of quoted saying that he wasn't really into the hippie trippy side of Hawkwind. He thought it was all about speed.
Well, we did everything except heroin. You know, I mean, heroin's the one that kills you. I've never seen anybody die on anything else. Yeah, I mean, me and Dimmick were doing everything anyway. The others were a bit snotty about their acid, you know. Oh yes, we only take organic drugs, man. What the fuck are you talking about? LSD isn't organic, you know.
Living with Lemmy, well, it was quite difficult in some ways, you know, because he was sort of into his stimulants, as you might call them, and he'd sort of stay up for a week, and then he'd go to sleep for a week. You know, it's sort of difficult to relate to people like in those sort of circumstances on a normal level, really, you know.
Things started to change from like flower power until, you know, I think like the Angry Brigade started coming along and people did start getting into slightly darker drugs, you know, speed and Mandrex and things.
Hawkwind toured the Space Ritual for almost 18 months. The album went gold, and around it came a string of classic studio LPs and more lineup changes, including the departure of Robert Calvert to make a solo album, and the arrival of classically trained musician Simon House.
They phoned up one day and asked me if I'd like to come along and have a jam at Edmonton, the Sundown Edmonton, because Del Detmar was leaving. And I went along there, I just hung around backstage and got wrecked, and I was in the band.
The next thing that happened was, of course, America was going to happen, and they wanted us over there to tour and so on.
Yeah, it was remarkable. A couple of weeks after I joined the band, I was strolling down Sunset Boulevard, thinking, yes, this is more like it.
Yeah, that was chaos, if you like. I mean, an American loony is a much better quality loony than an English loony. They go all out, you know, I mean, completely wacko, you know.
And they came out of the hills, they came from everywhere. Every gig was virtually a sellout.
We got spiked in Cleveland by 2 separate sets of fucking hippies, put angel dust in all our drinks. right? So we've had a double dose of it, and I get out on stage and I'm thinking, what the fuck is this? Oh, I hit it and it makes a noise, good.
Hawkwind returned to America in April 1975, but this time, things were about to go seriously wrong.
The first episode that I really remember was we pull into a service station, truck stop, to get something to eat. We come out and we can't find Lemmy anywhere.
They all went for a meal in this roadhouse and I went out with my camera. And I got whacked over the head and had my camera nicked. I didn't have any money hardly on me. And I go back to the roadhouse and they've gone. Left me there. Nice guys, right? Cosmic.
Searched around the place for quite a long time. We couldn't find him, basically. We thought either he's been abducted or he's gone off met some friends and gone off with them or something.
So I hitchhiked across the entire fucking state of Michigan in the middle of the night, tripping, right? I got picked up by VW microbuses full of bloody hippies, you know, and like homosexual truck drivers. It was a really interesting trip one way or the other. And I get there at 7 in the morning and it's a convention of cripples.
Then there was the episode going into Canada, and Lemmy got busted going into Canada with speed.
2 days in jail, handcuffed to a fucking bar, bailed just in the nick of time as I'm walking into the jail with my prison uniform on my arm, flown to Toronto, just in time for the sound check, play, 4 o'clock in the morning, get fired. How's that?
During the day, I called the brief in New York, my lawyer in New York, and I said, you know, what's it going to be done for? And they said, nothing. I said, why? It was speed. He said, yeah, but in Canada, speed is a pure food.